What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture back with another video that a lot of you guys love so much. We're breaking down a comic collection up for sale. This one up in Oregon. I was just up there. If they would have posted it, I would have went and checked it out. But we're going to read the post. We're going to look at the pictures. There's a lot of pictures. We're going to break it down. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please take the time to do so. Check out all the links in the description below. I'm going to remind you guys that right now in my Whatnot storefront, I'm offering at minimum 20% off of everything listed. So how does this work? Well, my link is below. If you guys aren't on the Whatnot app yet, if you use that link to sign up, you will get $15 off your first purchase. But what you do is you can go find me, Journals Comics, on the app, check out my storefront. Anything that's listed, if you submit an offer for at least 20%, I will accept that offer. You can put an offer larger than 20%. You can do a 25, 30%. I might take larger offers, but I can't guarantee it. But at minimum, I will accept all offers of 20% on every single item listed right now until August 13th to celebrate my birthday for the month of August. So go check that out. But let's get into this. All right, let's read. Sean here says, if you happen to be near the Salem, Kaiser, Oregon area, I am downsizing my selling inventory. Okay, let's make sure we read this right. I am downsizing my selling inventory, and part of my personal collection is a 40+ year collector and seller. Okay, this is key, guys. That little statement right there is key for how we're going to break this down. Remember that. We're going to come back to it. Perfect for collector or part-time seller looking to expand their collection. Over 6,000 plus comics. Comics up for sale from various different titles from Marvel, DC, Image, Valiant, Dark Horse, and other independents from Bronze Age to Modern Age. All bagged and boarded, vast majority, 90% or so, in high grade condition. Individual books from most titles, full sets, near complete sets, large runs, variants and minor keys, complete runs of Bronze and Copper Age, Blue Beetle, Blue Devil, Booster Gold, Suicide Squad, Daring Adventures of Supergirl, Secret Origins, Teen Titans Spotlight, Arian, Arak, Amethyst, and more, plus several complete miniseries from Marvel, DC, and Independence, near complete runs of Jonah Hex, Deathstroke, love me some Deathstroke, Doom Patrol, New Teen Titans, Legion of Superheroes, Warlord, plus large runs of Fantastic Four, Master of Kung Fu, Flash, Spawn, Walking Dead, and Star Trek, just to name a few. Boxes break down to 4 long boxes of Marvel, 4 long boxes, and 4 short boxes of Image. Oh. 1 long box of Valiant, 1 long box of Golden to Copper Age Dell, worthless, Gold Key, Charlton, and Archie. 1 long box and 3 short boxes of Independence. Oh my God. And 9 long boxes and 8 short boxes of DC. Okay. Good amount of DC there. There are a few duplicate of issues, especially from completed titles, but not very many. I have a sample list of just full sets and runs in the collection. Feel free to stop by, check it out. Local pickup only. Okay. A lot of stuff said here. One thing I'm going to give Sean credit for. Much respect for actually breaking this collection down, for telling us really what he has in there and telling us how much of Marvel and indie in DC that he has, and also talking about like the full sets of this and that. That's very good. It's very transparent. A lot of people don't do that, and it bothers me. And you got to go through all this work just to get that information, because oftentimes they don't reply. Now, I did leave a comment asking, would you be willing to break it apart? Like, say I just wanted the complete run of, Legion of Superheroes and New Teen Titans. Would you be willing to sell that for me? Just that. I haven't got a response yet, so I'm gonna assume maybe not. I mean, he's clearly selling this as a lot. He's asking how much? $6,000. So roughly $1 a book. He says 6,000 plus, but it's roughly $1 a book here. Let's look at the pictures, guys. And I also like, that he included pictures where you see kind of like the runs that he has. He pulled out like one book from each run. They're a little grainy, but we're gonna attempt now. The bulk of this stuff really is Copper and Modern. And what was it when you break it down? Like about half of it is Independent, or almost half. And that's not good. So, you got some X-Force, X-Men Classic. You got some original Marvel Star Wars right here. But what did he say? Minor keys. I'm going to tell you guys right now, and he even said it. He's a seller. This has been cherry picked, hands down. But let's go. I'm going to go through more of the pictures before we break all that down. Marvel Age. Moon Knight. This looks like the mini series, the 4-issue mini series. I don't think it's the original run. New Mutants, some ROM, Howard the Duck, Inhumans back there. That's a cool little mini run. Bronze Age. I see some Thanos miniseries stuff, Captain America. This looks like Avengers. This is all indie stuff here, and then I think this is what he was talking about, the Silver Age, Carlton, and like Dale and stuff, which again, most of that stuff doesn't garner much value at all. Some late 80s, early 90s action, Adventures of Superman, Aquaman, New 52. Looks like a little of the newer Batman stuff in there, Grayson, Darkseid War. Few detectives back here. The 1-issue specials, Arian, Nightwing, Man-Bat, Justice Society, some Harley, Green Lantern. Again, most of this is Copper to Modern, Vigilante, some more Superman. Yeah. The Storm Watch here. Indie, Shadowhawk, Image stuff. DC Warlord, no value. More indie stuff. Then back to some New 52, Deathstroke, Batgirl, Rebirth, Supergirl, Wonder Woman. So what I'm not seeing right now is a lot of A-list runs. We did see a few Star Wars, Marvel Star Wars, and Judge Dredd, Dreadstar. We do see a few Fantastic Four right here, which are Bronze Age. So that's nice. Bronze to copper. So that's nice right here. This little box of Fantastic Four. But still, I mean, nothing, again, it's been cherry picked. I'm telling you. Airac, Atari, Force, Blue Beetle. Again, Booster Gold. This is all D-list stuff from even DC. Now, you got a few Flash. This Deathstroke, the Terminator run was pretty cool, but, again, doesn't garner a lot of value. Titans. These Supergirl books are kind of cool. DC Star Trek, I think that's issue number 1 right there, which is, a few $5 book. I think that's Mass number 1 right there, which is cool, depending on the grade, $5 to $10 book. Jonah Hex, some Robin, some Secret Origins, looks like from the 80s. Spawn, we do have a Spawn number 1, so a nice, depending on the grade, $20, $25 book. And some Spawns here, Spawns, they'll sell for a few bucks. And some Walking Dead. I mean, any Walking Dead. I don't know if a lot of these are the later prints, the reissued prints, but still, Walking Dead books are cool, and there we go. So that's what we got, guys. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. We're gonna wrap up the video in probably just a couple minutes because I've said this before and I'll say it again. First off, what this guy said, that's a big giveaway to where it's like, I'm not going to pay what he's asking. Straight up. I would never pay close as a collector or as a dealer reseller. And he says, perfect for somebody that's, perfect for collectors or part-time sellers looking to expand their collection. No, it's not. Now, what's at $1 a book, what would be perfect for, this would be amazing for collectors at $1 a book if they could go in and load up a short box, load up a long box. Absolutely. Because that's how collectors buy. Collectors aren't going to drop $6,000 for a bunch of boxes of random D-list stuff for the most part. That, again, and this is why it's not good for a reseller, because I'm not making any money. I'm losing money. If I'm a reseller and I'm spending $6,000 on these $6,000 book, excuse my language, but I'm shitting money down the toilet. Cherry picked, and he knows it because he gave it away here, saying that this is my selling inventory. If it's his selling inventory, he did say some of it's from his PC, but if it's his selling inventory, why isn't he selling it? If he's a seller, part-time seller, whatever. Why? I'm going to tell you why. Because he's putting a bow on this, making it seem like there's value there, when most of this stuff would sit in dollar bins and not sell. I would hesitate to pay a dime a book for this collection. I would hesitate if I was coming back from my trip and I stopped by to see this guy and I had $600 in my pocket to spend, which is a dime a book. I'd be hesitant to give him that $600 for this collection. I would. And that's the honest truth. And any seller that sees this collection and says that they would disagree with me is lying. I'm telling you straight up. Any seller that says they would pay more than, what I'm offering right now in terms of the $600 a dime a book, I don't think you're telling the truth. And that's just my opinion. But again, I think Sean here, he's not like, there's people that have collections like this that are like $15,000, $20,000. I did the value on hip comics and I know what I have. At least he's not doing that, but still, as a seller, I believe Sean knows exactly what he's doing. He's trying to get somebody to bite. And if Sean is willing to break it apart by short box or by, the complete runs, then at $1 a book, go ahead, Sean. I would appreciate that. And you'd make some good money and you would make some collectors happy. But if you are, a stickler right now and saying, nope, I'm not splitting this up at all, and you're trying to get $6,000 for this collection, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So that's my video for you guys. Let me know what you all think in the comment section below. Again, one more thing before I say my outro piece. If you come in my comment section and say, look at Journo, here he is trying to rip people off, you don't understand how small the profit margin is on comic books. If you think that what I'm saying is nonsense and I'm some dirty flipper or whatever, you don't know how small the profit margin is for comic books. You don't. Especially if it's an LCS or somebody that has a brick and mortar or has staff to pay on a collection like this. 10 cents might not even be worth it. Thank you guys for watching. Be well, and until next time.